The device in your hand right now has more computing power than what was used to send humans to the moon. Yet you're using it to scroll through other people's lives, double tapping their achievements while your own dreams collect dust. You have access to more knowledge, more opportunities, and more resources than any generation in human history. And what have you done with this incredible privilege? You've become an expert at finding excuses. Your laziness isn't just robbing you, it's robbing humanity. Every minute you spend in comfortable mediocrity is a minute stolen from the world that needs your gifts. Your procrastination isn't just a personal failing. It's a crime against your potential, a theft from the future that's waiting for your contribution. The room was silent. Not a single sound. Not a single movement. The audience sat motionless, their eyes fixed on the empty chair at the center of the stage. Just an ordinary wooden chair, nothing special about it. But that chair represents something profound. Something that's been holding you back your entire life. You see, most people in this room right now are sitting in their own invisible chair. A chair of comfort. A chair of excuses. A chair that's slowly killing their dreams, suffocating their potential, and robbing them of the life they were destined to live. And the most dangerous part, they don't even realize it. Let me tell you something that might shock you. Your biggest enemy isn't the economy. It isn't your boss. It isn't your background, your education, or your circumstances. Your biggest enemy is sitting right there in your own mind, whispering sweet nothings into your ear, telling you it's okay to wait until tomorrow. It's okay to take it easy. You deserve a break. That enemy has a name, and its name is laziness. But before you get defensive, before you start listing all the reasons why you're not lazy, let me ask you something. How many times this week did you hit the snooze button? How many times did you say, I'll start my business next month? Or I'll begin that project when the timing is right? How many times did you choose Netflix over working on your dreams? You see, laziness isn't just about lying on the couch all day eating chips. Laziness is subtle. It's sophisticated. It disguises itself as being realistic. It masquerades as taking it slow. It hides behind phrases like, I'm just not ready yet, or I need more time to prepare. Think about the food in your refrigerator right now. The vegetables you bought last week with good intentions, now slowly rotting in the crisper drawer. Think about that gym membership card in your wallet, barely used. Think about those books on your shelf, bought with excitement, now collecting dust. These aren't just minor inconveniences. They're symptoms of a deeper problem. Every time you choose the easy path, every time you postpone your dreams, every time you settle for less than what you're capable of, you're feeding this enemy. You're making it stronger. You're giving it more control over your life. But here's what's fascinating. This same energy you use to make excuses, to justify your inaction, to rationalize your mediocrity, that same energy could be used to transform your life. When the mental effort it takes to craft elaborate explanations for why you can't start today, that same mental effort could be channeled into creating solutions, into taking action, into making progress. Let me share something with you that changed my perspective forever. In nature, everything that's not growing is dying. There's no middle ground. There's no maintenance mode. You're either expanding or contracting. You're either advancing or retreating. When a tree stops growing, it starts dying. When a business stops growing, it starts dying. When you stop growing, you start dying. But many of us have convinced ourselves that we're maintaining. We tell ourselves we're just holding steady or keeping things stable. That's a lie. That's laziness wrapped in the cloaking tendon. That's mediocrity disguised as wisdom. What things have you postponed? What goals have you abandoned? What potential have you left untapped? And more importantly, you might be thinking, but I'm tired. I work hard. I have responsibilities. Yes, you do. We all do. But being busy isn't the same as being productive. Being active isn't the same as being effective. Moving a lot doesn't mean you're moving forward. Look at the device in your hand or the screen in front of you right now. Before it was created, it was just an idea. Before it was manufactured, it was just a possibility. The chairs you're sitting on, the clothes you're wearing, the building you're in, everything around you was once just a thought in someone's mind. The difference between these things existing and not existing wasn't just ideas. It was action. Consistent, persistent, determined action. Why is where it gets personal? While you're sitting there, comfortable in your excuses, someone else is out there working on similar dreams. While you're waiting for the perfect moment, someone else is creating their moment. While you're complaining about obstacles, someone else is turning those same obstacles into opportunities. The truth is, your laziness isn't just affecting you. It's affecting everyone around you. It's affecting your family who needs your best version. It's affecting your community that needs your contributions. It's affecting the world that needs your gifts. Your talents, your unique perspective. You are born with a purpose. You are created with potential. You are designed for greatness. But purpose without action is just a dream. Potential without effort is just possibility. Greatness without growth is just wishful thinking. Your laziness has convinced you that you have time, that tomorrow is guaranteed, that someday will come. But let me tell you something. Tomorrow is not promised. Someday is not a day of the week. So the graveyard is full of unwritten books, unsung songs, unlaunched businesses, and unfulfilled dreams. All because someone decided to wait for a better time. The most dangerous form of laziness isn't physical. It's mental. It's the laziness that keeps you from thinking bigger, from challenging your assumptions, from questioning your limitations. It's the laziness that makes you accept mediocrity as your destiny and average as your standard. Look around this room. Every person here has a story of something they could have done, should have done, wanted to do, but didn't. Every person here has a graveyard of dreams they've allowed to die, not because they lacked ability, but because they lacked action. Here's the good news. Just as laziness is a habit, excellence is also a habit. Just as mediocrity is learned, greatness can be learned. Just as you've trained yourself to take the easy path, you can train yourself to embrace the challenging path. The question isn't whether you have what it takes. You do. The question isn't whether you have the potential. You do. The question isn't whether you have the opportunity. You do. The only question is, because make no mistake, it is a war. Every morning when that alarm goes off, it's a battle. Every time you have to choose between what's easy and what's right, it's a battle. Every time you have to push through fatigue, doubt, and fear. But here's what you need to understand. The battle isn't against external forces. It's not against time or circumstance or other people. The battle is against that voice in your head that says, do it later, take it easy. That voice isn't protecting you. It's imprisoning you. Your laziness has built a comfortable prison around you. A prison with invisible walls made of excuses, justifications, and rationalizations. A prison where mediocrity feels like achievement and where comfort feels like success. But comfort is the enemy of progress. And your comfort zone will eventually become your confinement zone. You know what fascinates me? The human body. When you stop using a muscle, it doesn't maintain its strength. It atrophies. When you stop challenging your mind, it doesn't maintain its sharpness. Your potential works the same way. When you stop pushing your boundaries, when you stop stretching your capabilities, when you stop demanding more from yourself, your potential doesn't wait for you. It shrinks. We become masters of self-deception. We tell ourselves stories about why we're not taking action. We've developed a sophisticated vocabulary of excuses. I'm networking when we're just socializing. I'm planning when we're just procrastinating. I'm being patient. Let me tell you something powerful. Your life right now is the sum total of all the decisions you've made up to this point. Everything you are and everything you're not. Everything you don't have is all the result of decisions. When there's a decision, it's also a decision. Choosing not to choose is still a choice. And laziness thrives in the gap between knowing and doing. Think about the last time you had a great idea. Maybe it was a business concept, a creative project, or a personal goal. What happened to that idea? Did you act on it immediately, or did you let it marinate in the soup of someday? While you were waiting for the perfect moment, how many others had the same idea and actually executed it? Your laziness has convinced you that you're special. That somehow the universal laws of success don't apply to you. That you can skip the hard work, avoid the struggles, bypass the difficulties, and still achieve extraordinary results. But that's the biggest lie you've ever told yourself. Indeed, success leaves clues. And if you study any successful person, any breakthrough, any achievement, you'll find one common denominator. Work, not just any work. Focus, consistent, deliberate work. The kind of work that stretches you. The kind of work that your laziness is desperately trying to protect you from. Right now, there's someone out there who started with less than you, who had more obstacles than you, who faced greater challenges than you, and they're succeeding. Why? Because they refused to negotiate with their laziness. They didn't wait for motivations. They created it through action. They didn't wait for the perfect conditions. They created their own conditions. Your laziness has given you a false sense of security. It's convinced you that playing it safe is smart, that avoiding risks is wise, that staying in your comfort zone is prudent. But here's the truth. The biggest risk in life isn't taking action. The biggest danger isn't failing. It's succeeding at things that don't really matter. What happened if you treated your dreams with the same urgency as you treat your phone when its battery is at 1? What would change if you pursued your goals with the same intensity as you look for your keys when you're running late? What could you accomplish if you attacked your priorities with the same focus as you scroll through social media? Your laziness has made you a professional consumer instead of a producer. You consume entertainment instead of creating value. You consume information instead of applying knowledge. You consume other people's success stories instead of writing your own. But consumption without creation leads to frustration. Knowledge without application leads to stagnation. The most dangerous thing about laziness is that it makes you think small. It convinces you to settle for less than what you're capable of. It persuades you to accept good enough when greatness is within reach. And the most tragic part, you start to believe that this is all you deserve. But let me tell you what you really deserve. You deserve to live up to your full potential. You deserve to experience the thrill of achievement. You deserve to know what you're truly capable of. Not because someone gave it to you, not because you were lucky, but because you worked for it, because you earned it, because you conquered your laziness to claim it. Your laziness has taught you to fear failure. But failure isn't your enemy, it's your teacher. Every successful person you admire has failed more times than you've even tried. The difference is they understood that failure is not the opposite of success. It's part of success. They understood that temporary defeat is not permanent failure unless you allow your laziness to make it permanent. Look at your hands for a moment. These hands were designed to create, to build, to transform. Your mind was designed to innovate, to solve problems, to generate ideas. What your laziness has convinced you to use these gifts at minimum capacity, to operate at low voltage. The truth that your laziness doesn't want you. Everything you want is on the other side of hard work. Everything you dream of is waiting for you beyond your comfort zone. Everything you're capable of is hiding behind the wall of excuses you've built. But here's what's interesting about hard work. It's only hard before you do it. Once you're in motion, once you're taking action, once you're fully engaged, the resistance diminishes. The excuses fade. The fear subsides. Because action is the antidote to anxiety. Movement is the cure for mediocrity. Work is the weapon against weakness. Your laziness has given you a distorted view of time. It's made you believe that you can waste it today because there's always tomorrow. It's convinced you that you can postpone your dreams because there's always next year. But time doesn't care about your excuses. Time doesn't wait for your convenience. Time moves forward, whether you move with it or not. Think about this. Every delay, every hour you waste, every minute you procrastinate, you're not just losing time, you're losing life. You're not just postponing success. You're not just avoiding difficulty, you're accepting defeat. The cost of laziness isn't just the opportunities you miss. It's the person you could have become. It's not just the goals you don't achieve. It's the impact you could have made. It's not just the dreams you don't realize. Right now, in this moment, you have a choice to make. Not tomorrow, not next week, not when you feel ready, right now. Because your life is happening right now. Your future is being shaped right now. Your destiny is being determined right now. And every moment you spend in the grip of laziness is a moment of your destiny being hijacked. You see, laziness doesn't just affect your actions, it infects your identity. The more you give in to it, the more you start to see yourself as someone who gives in. The more you surrender to comfort, the more you become someone who needs comfort. The more you accept mediocrity, the more mediocre you become. Let me share something profound with you. Every time you choose the easy way, you're voting for your weakness. Every time you take the path of least resistance, you're electing your excuses into office. Every time you give in to laziness, you're appointing it as the president of your potential. This is what your laziness doesn't want you to discover. You are designed for difficulty. You are built for battles. You are created for challenges. Look at how your muscles grow. Look at how your mind expands through problems. Look at how your character develops. Your laziness has sold you a lie about pain. It's convinced you that discomfort is your enemy. That struggle is a sign to stop. That resistance means you're on the wrong path. But pain is not your enemy. Discomfort is not your opponent. It's your opportunity. Resistance is not your obstacle. It's your invitation to grow. You think about a time when you pushed through your laziness. When you did what was hard instead of what was easy. Remember how you felt afterward. Remember the pride, the satisfaction, the sense of achievement. That feeling wasn't just about what you accomplished. It was about who you became in the process. Your laziness wants you to focus on how hard things are. But successful people focus on why things are worth doing. Your laziness wants you to think about what you might lose if you try. But achievers think about what they'll definitely lose if they don't try. Your laziness wants you to worry about what others might think if you fail. But leaders worry about what they'll think of themselves if they never try. Let me tell you something that might change your perspective for it. The pain of discipline weighs ounces, but the pain of regret weighs tons. The discomfort of action is temporary, but the discomfort of inaction is permanent. The struggle of growth is momentary, but the struggle of staying the same is endless. Your laziness has made you a master of preparation, but a novice at execution. You've read all the books, attended all the seminars, watched all the videos, but knowledge without action is like having a library in a locked room. It's valuable, but useless until you open the door and think about all the excuses you've made, all the justifications you've created, all the reasons you've invented for why you can't start today, why you can't push harder, why you can't demand more from yourself. Now imagine if you had invested that same creative energy into finding solutions, into making progress, into actually doing the work. Laziness has given you a false equilibrium. More comfort equals more happiness. But look around at the most fulfilled people you know. Are they the ones who took the easy path? Are they the ones who avoided challenge? Or are they the ones who chose comfort or growth? No. The most fulfilled people are those who chose purpose over pleasure, growth over comfort, impact over ease. This one's fascinating about fulfillment. It doesn't come from achieving goals. It comes from who you become in pursuit of goals. It doesn't come from reaching the summit. It comes from who you become during the climb. It doesn't come from crossing the finish line. It comes from who you become during the race. Your laziness wants you to believe that you need to feel motivated to take action. But that's backward thinking. Motivation doesn't create action. Action creates motivation. Energy doesn't create movement. Confidence doesn't create achievements. Achievement creates confidence. Look at your life right now. Look at your relationships, your health, your work, your finances. Everything you see is the result of either the actions you took or the actions you didn't take. Disciplines you embraced or the disciplines you avoided. Your laziness has made you reactive instead of proactive. You wait for opportunities instead of creating them. You wait for circumstances to change instead of changing your circumstances. You wait for someone to push you instead of pushing yourself. But life doesn't reward waiters. It rewards initiators. And what the best version of yourself? Think about the choices you're making right now. What would the future you, the you that has achieved your dreams, reached your goals, fulfilled your potential, what would that version of you think about your current relationship with laziness? There's a truth. That future version is not a different person. It's you minus your excuses. It's you minus your laziness. It's you minus your self-imposed limitations. And that version of you is available right now, today, in this moment. If you're willing to wage war against your own laziness. The most expensive real estate in the world isn't in New York or Tokyo or London. It's the gap between knowing and doing. It's the space between what you know you should do or what you actually do. And that gap is where your laziness lives, where it thrives, where it builds its empire of excuses. Your laziness has convinced you that small compromises don't matter. That skipping one workout won't make a difference. That postponing one task won't hurt. That taking one day off won't impact your goals. But success and failure aren't created in the big moments. They're created in the small moments, the daily choices, the seemingly insignificant decisions. Every great achievement in human history started with someone who refused to negotiate with their laziness. Every breakthrough, every innovation, every advancement came from someone who decided that the pain of staying the same was greater than the pain of change. Look, your laziness has made you a professional negotiator. You negotiate with your alarm clock every morning. You negotiate with your commitments every day. You negotiate with your potential every moment. And in these negotiations, you're not winning. You're surrendering piece by piece, dream by dream, goal by goal. This can you powerful. The world doesn't reward perfection. It rewards production. Your laziness has convinced you that you need to be perfect before you start. That you need to have everything figured out before you move forward. That you need to be completely ready before you take action. But that's a trap. That's a prison. That's a death sentence for your dreams. Think about a baby learning to walk. Do they wait until they're sure they won't fall? Do they wait until they've studied the physics of bipedal movement? Do they wait until they've eliminated all risk of failure? No. They try, they fall, they get up, they try again and again. And again, until walking becomes natural, until falling becomes rare, until movement becomes automatic. Your laziness has robbed you of this natural learning process. It's made you afraid of looking foolish, afraid of making mistakes, afraid of being imperfect. But perfection is not the prerequisite for progress. Excellence is not the absence of failure. It's the presence of effort. Look around this room again. Every person here has a story of something they started before they were ready. Something they attempted before they were perfect. Something they achieved before they felt qualified. And those stories, those moments of courage, those instances of action despite fear, those are the stories that define their lives. But your laziness has convinced you that your story is different, that your circumstances are unique, that your challenges are special, that your obstacles are bigger. But let me tell you, special about your situation is how long you've allowed your laziness to be in charge. Think about water for a moment. When water sits still, it becomes stagnant. When it stops flowing, it becomes toxic. When it stops moving, it loses its power. Your potential works the same way. When you stop pushing, when you stop flowing, when you stop moving, you don't maintain your current state. You deteriorate. Your laziness has made you a collector instead of a creator. You collect information but don't implement it. You collect inspiration but don't act on it. You collect opportunities but don't seize them. But life doesn't reward collectors. It rewards creators. It doesn't reward knowledge. It rewards application. It doesn't reward potential. Ask me something that might make you uncomfortable. What would happen if you treated your goals like you treat your phone? What if you checked on them every few minutes? What if you responded to them immediately? What if you made them a priority? What if you invested as much energy in your dreams as you do in your distractions? Your laziness has given you selective amnesia. You remember all the times you tried and failed, but forget all the times you succeeded. You remember all the reasons why something might not work, but forget all the reasons why it could work. You remember all your past disappointments, but forget all your past triumphs. It's not just about the past. It's about the future. Every time you remember a failure, you're programming your future. Every time you recall a defeat, you're designing your destiny. Every time you resist an excuse, you're reinforcing your limitations. The most dangerous form of laziness isn't physical tiredness. It's mental surrender. It's not the exhaustion of your body. It's the evacuation of your dreams. It's not the fatigue in your muscles. It's the fear in your mind. And that's why the battle against laziness isn't won in the gym. It's one in your thoughts, in your decisions, in your moment-to-moment choices. But your laziness has taught you to see hard work as punishment. But hard work is not punishment. It's privilege. The ability to work hard is not a curse. It's a blessing. The opportunity to push yourself is not a burden. Because not everyone gets this chance. Not everyone has this opportunity. Think about all the people who would love to have your problems, who would cherish your opportunities, who would celebrate your challenges. While you're complaining about the weight of your responsibilities, someone else is praying for the chance to have them. While you're avoiding your challenges, someone else is begging for your opportunities. Your laziness has made you a victim of the path of least resistance. But the path of least resistance leads to the land of least results. The easy path leads to the valley of unfulfilled potential. Let me tell you something that might shake you. Your comfort zone is not a place of safety. It's a prison of mediocrity. Your comfort zone is not protecting you. It's limiting you. Your comfort zone is not supporting you. And the longer you stay there, the smaller your world becomes, the weaker your spirit grows, the dimmer your light shines. The most expensive words in the world are, I'll start tomorrow. The most costly phrase is, I'll do it later. The most dangerous sentence is, I'm not ready yet. Because tomorrow is not guaranteed. Later might never come. And readiness is a myth created by laziness to keep you in chains. The moment of truth has arrived. Right here, right now, you're facing a decision that will echo through the rest of your life. Not a decision about what you'll do, but a decision about who you'll be. Not a choice about your actions, but a choice about your identity. Your laziness wants you to believe that transformation takes time. But real transformation happens in an instant. It happens in the moment you decide that enough is enough. It happens when you declare war on mediocrity. It happens when you choose growth over comfort, purpose over pleasure, excellence over ease. Think about all the mental energy you've spent justifying your inaction. All the emotional energy you've invested in defending your comfort. What if you redirected that energy toward your dreams? What if you reinvested that power into your purpose? But here's what your laziness doesn't want you to realize. You're uninspired. You're not weak. You're uncommitted. You're not incapable. You're inconsistent. And the cure for lack of inspiration is not motivation. The cure for lack of commitment is not confidence. It's action. The most tragic words in life are not, I failed. They're never tried. The most painful regret is not, I fell short. It's, I played small. The most devastating realization is not, I made mistakes. It's I made excuses. Your laziness has made you a spectator in your own life. You watch others achieve their dreams while you nurse your excuses. You observe others reach their goals while you nurture your justifications. But today something is different. Today you're not just hearing words. The world needs your gifts. Humanity needs your contribution. The future needs your influence. But none of that will happen if you keep negotiating with your laziness. None of that will manifest if you keep compromising with mediocrity. Your life is not a just rehearsal. This is not a practice run. This is your one and only life. Your one and only chance to become who you were created to be. And every moment you spend in the prison of laziness is a moment stolen from your destiny. The time has come to make a decision. Not about tomorrow or next week or next month, but about right now. In this moment, with this opportunity. A decision to wage war against your own laziness. A decision to demand more from yourself than anyone else could ever demand from you. The door is open. The path is clear. The opportunity is present. But you must walk through it. Not tomorrow. Not when you feel ready. Not when circumstances are perfect. Your destiny is calling. Your purpose is waiting. Your potential is ready. The only question is, are you ready to answer? And the war against laziness begins now. And in this war, there's no middle ground. There's no compromise. There's only victory or defeat, growth or stagnation, transformation or regression. Rise up. Step up. Level up. Your greatest life awaits on the other side of your laziness. The time for excuses is over. The era of mediocrity is finished. Your new life begins now.